This video is the second of two parts on using Engage New York with ASSISTments. So following the last video, I'm going to be demonstrating an assignment from lesson 19 in module 2 from 7th grade mathematics. I've taken a look at the student version of the assignment and I've picked just problem number 1 from the problem set section of this download. So in ASSISTments, I was able to make that problem number 1 by going to textbooks under mathematics and ASSISTment certified. I went to Engage New York 7th grade, module 2, and then problem set lesson 19. I clicked on view problems and I selected just the first problem, and it's a 4-part problem about a family that goes to an Italian restaurant. So since I made that problem set, it's under content I've built, so I can go to ASSISTments content to assign, problem sets I've built, and this is the problem set that I made for the video from lesson 7.2, problem set 19. So I'm going to assign that. But this time, unlike the last video, when I assign it, I'm going to make student work required. So the students have to show their work, and I'm just going to make them a little bit more accountable on their homework assignment. So I'll assign that. And now up under assignments, we can see my assignment. All right. So now I'm going to go over to the student and we'll look at the student's assignment, and it's the same one, and they will click on it. And there's the first problem. This one's open response, so there's technically no work to show since it's just work in itself. And it asks the students to write an expression. So let's just review the problem. It's a family of 12 went to the local Italian restaurant for dinner. Every family member ordered a drink and a meal. 3 ordered an appetizer and 6 people ordered cake for dessert. The first question, part A, is to write an expression that can be used to figure out the cost of the bill, including the definitions for the variable the server used. So we have to start with our variables. We're going to use D for drink, and M for meal, and technically I guess we should say the number of drinks, and M is the number of meals, and A equals the number of appetizers, and C equals the number of cakes. All right, and then I've already written this workout, and like a student might do with their phone or the camera on their laptop, they can take a picture and just upload a picture. And this is a picture of the expression 12D plus 12M plus 3A plus 6C. So I'm going to submit that answer. And so that answer goes up to the teacher. And then we'll go to the next problem. And this is the same problem, but it's part B. The waitress wrote on her order pad the following expression: 3 times 4D plus 4M plus A plus 2C. Was she correct? Explain why or why not. And now we have the was she correct part, but we also have that the student has to submit their work. So was she correct? And I'm going to say yes, and I'm going to show that she was correct because I took my answer, 12D plus 12M plus 3A plus 6C, and I'm going to show that if I take 3 out of that, then that's 4D plus 4M plus A plus 2C. So I want you to notice that the students can type in when it's useful to them, or they can upload or drag in any picture they'd like. So I'm going to submit this, go to the next problem. And then because we prepared all of these assignments, we had all the parts. So this is the explain why or why not. And I have already prepared that for my paper. So this is my answer to part B. Make it a little bit bigger here. And yes, because if you distribute the 3, it is the same as what I had. So that could be something a student would write. And they're going to submit that open response. Notice the open response does not give feedback to the student. And then we'll go to the next problem. What's the cost of the bill if a drink costs $3, a meal costs $20, an appetizer costs $5.50, and a slice of cake costs $3.75? Do not include units in your answer. Once again, in ASSISTments, our answer box cannot handle units so that we can grade it. So let's say the student does their work, and I'll show you my work from try 1. And they very happily did their work, took their picture, typed it in, whatever they did, submitted their answer, and then type in. So there's a combination now. You can see the work that they did, but they can also get that immediate feedback that comes with entering their answer into ASSISTments. So I'm going to put that 305 in. It wasn't right. So now the student has to go back to their piece of paper, look at their work, erase what was wrong. And in this case, they did 12 times 3 is 26. So then they have to erase that, fix it, and that part gets uploaded. So they get to change what they upload as their show work. And then, of course, they also change their answer. So I'm going to try, is it 315? I caught my error over here. So they submit this one, and that is indeed correct. So now they've got their work that's connected with their answer. So I'm going to click next problem, and now I'm on to part D. Suppose the family had 10% discount coupon for the entire check and then left an 18% tip. What is the total? Once again, the student needs to submit an answer, but they also need to submit their work. So they do their work on paper, take a photo. They can do this on their phone using the app. They can do it on an iPad or any other tablet. And laptops have cameras, so they can get that image up from their paper, or they could write it on a whiteboard. They could type it right into ASSISTments if they'd like as well. So this is the work to that problem, and the answer was $334.53. So I'm going to write that in, check to see if I got it right. So there we go. And now submit answer. Yes, indeed, I did get it right. Go to the next problem. There were only 4 parts to this one problem, and I only decided to assign 1 problem for this homework assignment. So this assignment gets completed, and the student can view their report. They can see the work that they put in. They can see how well the rest of their students. So notice there's 2 places for work. There's this one, which is on this side is the open response, and on the right-hand side is the work. And a really nice feature here is in case a student, say, does their work on a whiteboard or erases it, they can just click print, and then they can use the printer on their machine to print their homework. And so this is it coming up, and they can use their computer to print it. So if a student wants to turn this in instead, they can. So that's the student view. So now what's happening over here for the teacher? So we'll refresh this. And that student who hadn't started originally, of course, has now, when we look under assignments, has now completed the assignment, and I can click on report. I'm going to go to the report. And now what we have is we have the open response problems. See, these are the 2 open response that the teacher can then grade. So when you have an open response, you can take a look at it here, but you can also click this essay grading feature, and it allows you to give points to each one of the open response questions. So over here, I can give this question a 3 out of 4, and then I can write a comment to each one of the students if I would like. So that's the open response grading, and I can do that for either of my open response questions. And so there's the other one. And I would see, what's nice about this place is that you would see all of the open response answers in one place, and you can present this to the students. Notice their names are hidden, and you can ask them about the differences and the similarities between the different open response answers. But then we also have work. So here's this problem, and the answer was yes, and the student got it right. So I can click on work, and the student's work will pop up. So I can do that for all my students. This is the one I typed in. This is the work from the 305. And notice this one, remember I had my work submitted with the correct answer. That was the 315. But over here was the work submitted on my very first attempt. So you get to see that original work submitted, and you get to see the final work. So you really can encourage students as time goes on to pay attention to when they get a problem wrong, how do they change their work to see if they can get the problem right. So that's a little pop-up of the work. But you can also go to show all work. You'll see a similar display as you did with essay grading. So this has been a video of how to use Engage New York with ASSISTments and include the show work feature. We think that the added accountability of show work may be very interesting for your teaching. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you.